What's up, everyone? So today I'm answering a question from one of the viewers, and the question was, what were the plugins that I use for my websites? So here are the 9 plugins that I'm using for one of my sites, and really they're just about the same plugins for just about every site at the moment. So here's all of them listed here. I'll go through them one by one and explain why I use each one. As a general rule, I'm quite a minimalist with plugins. Every plugin that I use has to serve a very important purpose, and if I don't have to use it, I won't use it. A lot of people say every plugin adds to the weight or the bulk of a website, and while I understand that claim, some plugins are absolutely essential, and many plugins actually increase the speed of the website. So it's a bit too much of a black and white to say less plugins the better. Just be smart about what plugins you use. So the first ones are the most important ones, and they're the Pagespeed plugins. At the moment, I'm currently using Auto-Optimize and W3 Total Cache. The reason I'm using these two is they have been recommended to me by my host, who's WPX. In fact, I think W3 Total Cache is the premium version. I'm not sure. I don't care, but I'm pretty sure that WPX provides the premium version for me, I think. And then they recommend Auto-Optimize as well. So here's my Auto-Optimize settings. Basically, once you've added the plugin and activated it, I just go through and I set it to optimize the images and lazy load the image, and that's just about it. And it basically runs itself. I actually prefer, I think it's called A3 lazy load for lazy loading of images, but Auto-Optimize also does the JavaScript and critical CSS stuff, which is nice for a bit more of a more well-rounded experience. But the reason I prefer A3 lazy load is that it has better options for lazy loading images, and it also gives you the chance to lazy load videos, which is something I like because YouTube videos take up a lot of load speed. But I'm just sticking with Auto-Optimize at the moment because it gets the job done, and it's one less plugin I have to worry about if I install A3 lazy load. Okay, next one is security. So security for me is WordFence. WordFence is a bit annoying. It sends all these annoying emails. I'm sure I could learn to switch them off if I paid 5 minutes attention to it, but I mean, it adds a little bit of an extra layer of security, so I'm happy to just install WordFence and let WordFence do its thing. So for SEO, I'm currently using really simple SSL and rank math. So for really simple SSL, I actually don't recommend it unless you have SSL issues. Unfortunately, I've recently switched over to WPX from Kinsta. I love Kinsta, it's just a little bit too expensive. And WPX on all of my sites, I'm currently running 4 sites on WPX, and every single one of them, their SSL certificate is screwing with my websites. And really simple SSL seems to fix some of that issue. One of the things that is the WPX SSL certificate's doing is it's causing the top WordPress bar to disappear, which is obviously not ideal. And really simple SSL seems to have fixed it like 70% of the time. So I'm sticking with really simple SSL for now, but if you don't have to use it, if your SSL certificate's working fine, I don't recommend installing it because you don't need it. But if you do install it, you just go to the configuration setup, and as long as it's got those first 4 ticks, it's fine. If it doesn't have them, it'll just ask you to click a button to approve some things that make sure that all those ticks are up there. And then you're good to go. Okay, rank math. I recently switched over from Yoast to rank math, and I am so glad I did, and I can't believe I didn't do it earlier. Yoast absolutely sucks, whereas rank math is really good. To be fair, I don't use either Yoast or rank math to tell me how many times I use my keyword or how long my page should be or any of that stuff. That stuff's not really important to me because I just do my own on-page SEO. The reason I use rank math, and the same reason I used to use Yoast as well, is so that I can get the meta for my pages right. It makes it a lot easier to edit my permalinks. And rank math, and especially rank math, has a really good interface for setting up your sitemaps, which is really good. And I can click onto the sitemaps and see what my sitemaps are doing and make sure that they're perfect. And from that top bar, Actually, that bar that I was talking about that always disappears with my SSL certificate at the moment. If you click on that top bar on a certain page and you click on mark this page as no index, and no index is the page, which is awesome. So what I'll often do is I'll do the site : search for my website. So for example, for Niche Safari, I'll do site : nichesafari.com and see what's in the index. And if there's anything in the index that I don't want in the index, such as a category page, I'll go to that page and then I'll mark the page as no index, so it's outside of the index. So I really like that about Rank Math. And there's the Rank Math sitemaps thing. So you click Rank Math on the left-hand side of the WordPress dashboard, click Posts and Pages, and it'll tell you exactly where your sitemap is. Okay, the next one that I'm using is WP External Links. This is just for an experiment that I'm doing at the moment, and I'll release a video to see the results of the experiment. But essentially for my largest site, which has 250 articles on it, I had all of my links do follow. And I've decided to experiment and just literally just no follow every external link and see if it does anything to like my rankings or anything. So I'm working on that at the moment, and I'll let you know of the results of that. But that's the 9th plugin that I'm using. If you choose to use this plugin, all you have to do is just go into the settings of this plugin and then turn it on to add no follow, no opener, and no referrer to all of the external links in that bar there that you can see, and it'll sort it all out for you. So for me, it helped me to no follow all of my Amazon links just like in one hit, and I don't have to manually go through and do all of them. And we'll see whether or not it has any effect. Hopefully, maybe there'll be a bit of a rankings jump. It's too early to say. I've only installed it like 2 days ago. Okay, so number 4 is analytics integration. There's a whole bunch of plugins you can use for Google Analytics integration. The one I'm currently using is insert header and footer, just so I can drop that header code that you need to drop into your website straight into insert header and footer plugin. A super quick way to sort out your analytics issues and make sure that you're up on Google Analytics. So yeah, it was super quick, so I chose to do it that way. There's another plugin that I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it hosts Google Analytics on site. So there's less calls back and forward from Google Analytics during loading of the website, and it can speed up your load time a little bit, which I'm curious about. I can't remember it at the moment. If you know what it is, leave it in the description below. So I would consider using that, but at the moment, I mean, the load time for this website in particular is fine, so it doesn't matter. Next one is the Posts plugin. So I hate Gutenberg. So I use TinyMCE Advanced. There's a whole bunch of different ones. They're all fine. The reason I like TinyMCE Advanced is because some of the other classic plugins, I guess, classic plugins, if you press Control Z to undo what you're doing, sometimes it completely does like the last 10 or 15 minutes of your work instead of just the last thing you did. Whereas TinyMCE Advanced doesn't seem to have that problem. It also has a few more extra options compared to the classic editor plugin in the drop-down menu. So that's why I'm using TinyMCE Advanced at the moment. I do a lot of my stuff through HTML coding rather than sort of just like the Gutenberg blocks. So that's why I like to have the classic editor. You can just do all of your HTML editing in the one block, essentially. Okay, and the last one is Elementor. Elementor is a heavy thing. It does take up a bit of load speed, but I really like it. And I only use it for one page, and that is the home page, so that my home page looks really nice and professional. If you want to have an idea of what my home pages tend to look like whilst using Elementor, go over to nichesafari.com, look at the homepage on that. That's basically the homepage template I use for all of my websites. There's an image here on the screen of what it looks like. It makes these nice little blocks, and you can sort of customize them so it looks like it's a really nice professional design for the homepage. And then I just use normal old WordPress editor for all of my other blog posts. So that's it. All 9 of them down there. As I said, I wouldn't recommend really simple SSL unless you have to. And WP External Links is brand new, so really I only tend to use 7, and there's just 2 that unfortunately I'm using at the moment, and if I didn't have to use them, I wouldn't use them. Okay, things that I don't use that may surprise you. I do not use a table of contents plugin. I find that with most table of contents plugins, I don't have enough control over them. I liked things like changing the heading of the table of contents or changing the title of each of the links, or I like doing my own customization. So I just have a simple HTML code that I copy and paste from a Word document straight into my table, into each of my web pages, and create my own table of contents. It's pretty quick, pretty easy, and it saves me having to use another table of contents. It saves me having to use another plugin, And I don't use image resize plugins, although I think Auto Optimize has like an option for that in it. But I just resize the images before I upload them. Saves the effort. Okay, which plugins can't you live without? Did I miss any? Are there ones that I should be using that I'm not using? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know whether or not you use less plugins than me, more plugins than me. Recommend a plugin that you think is awesome and that I should use, and I'll give it a go. And say that in the description below. And say that in the comments below. And apart from that, that's all my plugins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.